The image is surrounded by clouds, which told Juan Diego that she comes from among the mist and clouds, from a place hidden to all. She is saying to him, or this image is saying to him, I am the one sent by the one who is invisible and spiritual, but who is visible through me.
Welcome to Truth of the Spirit. I'm Patti Brunner, your host, and today we welcome back Juanita Salazar Lamb, who is going to tell us more about Our Lady of Guadalupe and about just exactly what Juan Diego saw when he met her and what came forth from that visitation. Welcome, Juanita.
Today I will, as Patti said, I will talk about what it is that Juan Diego saw when he saw this strange lady out in the middle of nowhere. Our Lady of Guadalupe, or as I call her, La Virgen, that's La, L-A, Virgen, V-I-R-G-E-N, and that's Spanish for the Virgin. I grew up with Our Lady of Guadalupe. My mother, I grew up hearing her referred to as La Virgen, and I have a very hard time thinking of her as anything else. So if you will indulge me, she is La Virgen to me. So what did Juan Diego see? Why did he trust her? She told him something. Sure, I'll go do it. She told him, your uncle as well. He said he believed her. Okay, I don't have to do what I had told him to do. But why was that? That's because her entire appearance is a codex. It's a book. Let's start with the image. What we see here is a woman. She is not light-skinned, not dark-skinned. She has medium-colored skin, the skin of a mestizo. In Juan Diego's world, a mestizo was the mix of the Europeans and the indigenous people. We have a young woman whose hair is parted down the middle, as we can see, although most of her hair is covered by a mantle that's in green. She's wearing a pink colored dress or sheath. She's standing, but it looks like she might have one of her knees bent. And at the bottom, we see a little angel supporting her. Okay, that's all very nice. Pretty picture, pretty lady. But what does that really mean? In her teal-covered mantle, teal was the color that could be used only by royalty. Juan Diego's, on the other hand, Juan Diego, as a common man, an uneducated man, could wear only white clothes, no embellishment whatsoever. The women of his class, if you will, could also not wear any sort of embellishment. So right there, the fact that she's wearing a teal-covered mantle tells him that she is royalty. Her mantle is also covered, or has sprinkled on it, 46 stars, which we will examine later. And the mantle is trimmed in gold, again, a symbol of royalty. The tunic that she wears underneath is a rose-colored tunic, and it ends at a row at her feet, and it's imprinted with flower and leaf designs outlined in gold. Again, we have the gold. The rose color of that gown signifies the earth. The teal of her mantle we associate with the sky or the heavens. Her hair is dark and it's parted down the middle. And you can see right at the edges that she has long hair. It's a very simple hairstyle that indicates this woman is a virgin. And now, how do we know this? Because married women in that era used to wear very unique hairstyles. The hairstyle for a married woman, their hair is parted down the middle, but then it's caught up in like two little ponytails on the crown of their head, and it looks, I don't know, it would keep me from getting married. So, let's look at the face and the eyes. Again, I've already said that she has European features. She does not have indigenous features, and she has the medium colored skin. Her head is inclined to the right, and her eyes are downcast. Now, so is that because Juan Diego, she thinks of herself as higher than? Apparently she's royal, if not heavenly. Is she not looking at Juan Diego because she thinks that he is just a nothing? No, quite the contrary. In Aztec culture, as it is in the Hispanic culture today, a sign of respect is to not look someone in the eye, to not look at their face, at their eyes directly. That's seen as challenging. So, if I am Juan Diego, or if I am in Juan Diego's society, I would approach someone and not meet them right in the eye. La Virgen, is showing Juan Diego a tremendous sign of respect. And now, keep in mind that this happened in 1531, 10 years after the conquest by the Spaniards. At that point, the Aztecs were nothing. No one respected them. There were no more royals. There were no more priests. And yet here she is, a royal, heavenly person, showing great respect to Juan Diego. Next, as we come down, we see that Our Lady is wearing a pendant. It's a gold pendant overlaid with a dark cross. And the cross represents the mirror of wisdom and truth. In the idols, the Aztec idols, they had, before the destruction, every idol, major idol, had a mirror right beneath their collarbone, if you will. That was the mirror of wisdom and truth. It was a mirror, though, that had a hole in the middle. If you looked at the mirror, of course, like any mirror, all you can see is yourself. If you looked through the small hole in the mirror, then you can see a little bit that's around you. If you look through the bigger hole in the mirror, you can see God. So look at this. She's wearing a mirror, and it's pointing Juan Diego, it's pointing all of us to Christ in the cross. Now, does this mean then that Our Lady is just another idol? No. What she is doing in presenting herself this way, remember, Our Lady presents herself to each of us as we would recognize her, so that she can let us know that she knows us, she knows our culture, she loves our culture wherever we might come from. Let's continue on down then. Let's look at her hands. She holds her hands together in a prayerful posture. Now, if you look closely at her hands, yes, they are held together in a prayerful posture, but in her hands, if you look very closely, her hands seem to hold one of the gold leaf flowers, one of the 9-petal gold flowers. In the Aztec symbol, not only symbolism, in their pictographs, the Aztecs did not have a written alphabet like many languages do. They had pictographs. And so one picture could symbolize many things or several things. In this case, that 9-petal flower could symbolize a heart. It could symbolize a rattle used for dancing. And it also symbolizes a mountain. So she's holding in her hands either a rattle or a heart or a mountain. Another thing, if I could deviate a little bit from her hands, each of the 9-petal flowers on her rose-colored gown are rooted in the Virgin's mantle. You have the 9-petal flower and then a stem that goes off from the flower. And each of them is rooted into her mantle. None of them is just out there just floating around. And what she is saying is she's holding our hearts in her hand as she intercedes for us. And also, keep in mind, she's holding it close to the mirror, the wisdom of mirror and truth, which is leading us to Christ. Continue on down then. She is wearing a black sash around her waist, and this indicates that she's pregnant. Now, I've already pointed out that she is an unmarried young woman. Remember, Juan Diego is a Christian. Not only is he a Christian, he's a very devout Catholic man. And he knows about Mary and the virgin birth and the fact that she wasn't married when she was carrying the Christ child. Let's continue on down. If you follow the sash, her sash, to where it ends, where the tie ends, it ends right above a 4-petal flower that's on her abdomen. The 4-petal flower in Nahuatl, the Aztec language, is called the Nahui Olin, and that symbolizes the place where the 4 directions come together, where the center of the universe is. It symbolizes constant movement. The Nahui Olin is still a very present in the Mexican culture. Of course, we have the Nahui Olin at the center of the Aztec calendar. The Nahui Olin can still be seen in the ancient glyphs, which have been preserved, and we can even find it on the 10-peso coin in Mexico. Now let's follow on down and let's look at how she's standing with her left leg on her left knee is bent a little bit, like maybe she's walking toward us. But let's look at the whole picture. Yes, she's holding our hearts in her hand, but maybe she's holding a rattle because maybe she's dancing. And for the Aztecs, one form of prayer was to dance. And this even goes back to the Bible. In 2 Samuel chapter 6, while David and all the house of Israel danced before the Lord with all their might, with singing and with lyres, harps, tambourines, sistrums, and cymbals. And in Luke chapter 1, Elizabeth says to Mary, "And how does this happen to me, that the mother of my Lord should come to me? For at the moment the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the infant in my womb leaped for joy." So if you look again at where her hands are, she's holding a 9-petal flower, which then can be interpreted as a rattle. She is just dancing for joy as she knows, as she brings her son to whoever calls on her. Continue on down, she is standing on a dark, upturned moon, crescent moon. She is stepping on it or trampling on it. The dark moon, the black moon, symbolizes a lunar eclipse. To the Aztecs, an eclipse was a horrible omen. It was an omen of destruction and the end. It was proof that the moon was devouring the sun. And here she is, trampling it down. She's going to defeat it. Okay, let's continue on down. Below the moon is a cherub. He's dark-haired little cherub. He's dressed in a crimson gown. Its outspread wings support La Virgen. To the Aztecs, a new era which was ushered in every 52 years was carried in by a winged servant. The cherub has dark hair, but if you'll notice when I say cherub, at least what comes to my mind are the cute little fat angels with the curly blonde hair that you see at Christmas time. You know, a lot of times they're playing a trumpet or something. Well, if you look at this little angel, he has the face of an old man, and he even has like thinning hair like an old man. Well, again, in the Aztec culture, it was the elders who had the wisdom in their culture. The feathers on the angel are white, blue, and red. When you combine that with the black of the moon, those are the 4 colors of the universe. His right hand is holding the heavens, the tunic with the stars. His left is supporting the earth, the roseate gown, which he then is joining the earth and the heavens by holding them together. The image is surrounded by clouds, which told Juan Diego that she comes from among the mist and clouds, from a place hidden to all. She is saying to him, or this image is saying to him, I am the one sent by the one who is invisible and spiritual, but who is visible through me. Then again, she is surrounded by sun's rays. The aura that surrounds Our Lady is comprised of more than 100 rays. And she's saying, I bring you the one who was truly omnipotent, more powerful than your sun god. I bring you the true light of the world, my son, Jesus. Let's go back to the stars on her mantle. As I stated before, there are 46 stars. So if you think about when Juan Diego saw her, the sun is behind her, which means that she has her back to the east, which means that north is on her right side and south is on her left side. And this has been proven, the stars on the right side of her mantle are in the exact shape, location, relative location to one another as the constellations in the northern hemisphere at the time that she appeared to Juan Diego on December 12th, at the time that she imprinted her image on his Tilma. The stars on the left side of her mantle are those constellations that appear in the sky in the southern hemisphere at that time. Now, if you look at it very closely, if you want to follow up and do your own investigation, you're going to notice, though, that the stars or the constellation shapes are upside down. Well, imagine then if you're looking up at the sky and you can see the constellations. Now bring that down, bring the sky down over your head so that it covers you like her mantle, so that you're looking at them in reverse. That's why they're upside down and backwards.
Thank you, Juanita, for sharing with us the explanation of that beautiful image that's on the Tilma of Juan Diego. And we invite you to come back from next time because we have some really fascinating information about some music that's available through the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So I invite you to subscribe and come back for more, because with the Holy Spirit, there is always more.
This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaPodcastNetwork.com.